What's up, guys? Kevin Mano out here on the balcony with Max.
Hey, baby.
Dude, welcome back.
Thank you for having me again.
I think it's been like 6 months on the dot since
Pretty
we last
nice.
talked to you out here.
Yeah, time flies. It's
And
delicious.
the trajectory is just still going up and up and up. Honestly, I mean, I'm blown away. You're all over the place these days.
It's been a wild and wonderful journey. I'm grateful that people are hearing the song in this way and the message, and we get to continue to wear crazy things and just enjoy life.
Yeah. Well, have you had a favorite moment or a couple of them since we last spoke?
We did James Corden
Just last night.
It was very. It was a dream. I've always loved his show. I love him and getting to. I performed the song with a harp player, which is the
sounded
first.
fantastic.
Thank you so much.
It was a great
man.
performance.
Thank you, and that's the first time I've done it with the harp player really since since I proposed to my wife with the harp player. So that was really special to get to. It was nerve-wracking. It was the first because I've sang the song so many times now that it is second nature, but this was the first time in a while that I was thinking I was more present than ever because I was so worried about something going wrong with this version and being that it was this kind of this TV performance. So it was like a reinvigorating experience for the song again to be so nervous that I was gonna screw it up.
I'm happy to hear that. Do you ever? I mean, if you're performing, you do perform it every day. You have been for a long time. Does your mind wander ever during a performance?
Sometimes. I try not to. Like I try to focus on maybe wherever I'm at and figure out if there's new things I can find with it. But yeah, like even yesterday, I was someone was asking me about lyrics, and I totally forgot the whole bridge, explaining it. You're like, wow, how did I do that? This is like the thing I talk about every day. But that's the brain.
But you have to think that happens with everybody at their job. Their mind wanders a little bit when they're doing something.
Yeah, it's the things that you know the best. It's you get comfortable with them, and sometimes you just forget it.
And I saw that you're playing some more shows with Fall Out Boy.
Yeah, very excited. We're going to Europe with
awesome.
them.
I've known those dudes forever. They're from Chicago, just like myself and your wife.
Yes, Fun Size
Old
Slayers.
Chicagoans.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love Chicago, and it's so cool to be touring with them again. And I just love, I love playing shows with them. They show that hard work always pays off. They put it in. They are humbled by their success, which I think is really important. And what you see in longevity, it's like you have to be, it's never about riding this wave and being like, oh, I'm good. You're never good. You always have. It only makes things harder when things start to work. And for them, it's always been great to learn that they still go to all of the places and give love to all of the people, and that's the most important. So
what does a night on the road with Fall Out Boy look like? Do you guys actually hang out after the show?
Yeah, we'll hang. I love they're we get along because we're all kind of grandpas at this point, and I have always been that way.
Wait, how old are you?
I know, I'm only 25, but I'm like my wife and I, it's like the usual, we hang out, we make fart jokes, we watch Netflix, whatever. It's like after a show, everybody's like, oh, you want to go party? I'm like, nah, that was the party. I'm gonna go sleep now, or I'm gonna. So it's cute when my favorite stories were when we were on the first tour with them, the Boys of Summer tour.
Sure.
After a show, Patrick would get out on stage and he would just be like true rock star, and then I'd see him backstage on the phone. He has his baby strap on with his baby on his chest, his 2 dogs, and he's like, yeah, so the mortgage payment is due next. And
it's not exactly Motley Crue back there.
And we're just
TVs
kicking it. I love it though. It's so great because it's that's, and also cool that when Wiz on that same story, he lives the true rock star life, and that's so rad to experience both.
The juxtaposition,
man. Wiz's dressing room, he literally carries around the same dressing room, the same vibes, the same black lights and everything.
Yeah.
Every night his dressing room is its own after party, and so but I love both. Fall Out Boy recently, we did a show in where was it? It was in Columbus, Ohio, and the only way they do the show is if they could see Star Wars afterwards, so they rented out the whole theater.
In their contract.
That was they were like Star Wars comes out that night, we have to see the movie, and I stupidly should have gone and went to sleep instead, but it was I just love that they're those.
You're gonna remember
guys.
that far more than getting a good night's sleep.
Oh my gosh,
you have a story.
It was a
now.
lesson. Go see Star Wars with Fall Out Boy guys
when you have the chance.
when they rent out the theater. What are you doing? Don't miss these opportunities with your life. So yeah, very excited.
What else does 2018 look like for you? Are we gonna get more music?
Definitely more music. I'm almost done. After today, I'm gonna be back in the studio making some new stuff.
Oh yeah, after today, huh?
I'm really delighted to be diving in again. It's been great to be on tour and promoting, but it's the one thing in my life that it feels there's this therapy that's not there when you're not writing or really diving in. It's hard for me to write on the road.
Where do you start? You walk into the studio tomorrow.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you're gonna do? Where do you start?
It always starts in different places, but I try to just nowadays I really try to just go with whatever's the rawest feeling of that moment. I wrote this song "Home" on the last record, where the next day I was with these guys, AJR, and I knew them but didn't know them really, really well.
I like those guys.
And they're great guys.
Yeah.
And now we're really great friends. We're touring together and stuff.
Yeah.
But so I go in, and my wife and I thought that she was pregnant the day before. Like, we had this whole pregnancy scare,
Sure.
and she didn't end up being pregnant. But we wrote a song about me, like, processing her maybe being pregnant. Am I ready to be a father? All those things. So I try to just, like, what's the freshest
tap into
story,
what you're feeling,
you know, whatever that is, and that's sort of what I go for first in a session, and then I go from there. Like, if that's not always natural, and you know, otherwise, then I'll maybe just think of a story that's happened. But that's usually where I go first.
I'm sorry to keep on this, but so you go in there. Is there one producer, two producers? Who's in there?
Sometimes it's just one person. Maybe it's just me and one other person. Sometimes it's me and two other people. Sometimes I don't really love this, but sometimes it's me and a group. Like, there's like 4 people in a group that I do it with.
And then do you sit and say, like, all right, this is what's on my mind? Do you sit at a keyboard? Do you pick up a guitar?
I like to just tell stories. Like, that's what I've learned is work the best. Like, I've had all the different writing experiences where you really just do stupid stuff where you're like, oh, this will relate, and then you're like, nah, that never works. Like, my favorite thing is when you just go in and you just give whatever your life story is in that moment, in that world, and those are the ones that I remember the most. The song called 10 Victoria's Secret Models off the last record, I wrote with just Patrick Stump, and we went in, and he just was like, just talk to me for like an hour, and then we'll go from there. And I was like, word.
I love that.
And it was an amazing lesson. He was like, and after that, leave for a little bit. I want to like process what you told me. And when I came back, he was like, you said this thing about like 10 Victoria's Secret models walking into the room and you wouldn't have taken your eyes off your wife now. And I was like, whoa, I didn't even remember saying that. I probably was just like trying to make you laugh with some stupid joke. And that was the whole song. And so I love collaborating that way because sometimes things that are a part of you, that was a part of me.
That's such a cool process. Thank you for telling me that story. I like that.
Yeah, I'm glad you dig it, man. So yeah, that's what I've learned is always fun, especially writing with somebody else, because that's why you're writing, is to find the best out of each other and create something together that really is a message you both believe in.
Yeah. So to get a little personal, and maybe you don't want to open up, but what is the thing you're going to go in with tomorrow? What's on your mind right now?
Honestly, it's been a lot of it's been both this idea of like, I've had a lot of loss in my life recently, and
sorry to hear that.
no, it's it's just a part of life. That's what's beautiful, and realizing like nowadays I spend so much more time like thinking about like really cherishing these moments with my family, with my parents, with my wife, like, because they are going to be gone someday. We're all going to be gone someday, and I think that's something that's been on my mind a lot recently, especially with just the amount we've been traveling, and I really have to like make time to be with my people, and that's something you always have to do. You got to make time. There's always going to be busy things in your life, and you just have to say, I'm not going to do anything for these 3 hours. I'm kicking it with my family, So that's one thing. The other thing is, just not giving into the pressure of like, the next thing now is like, oh, now you have this song, and like, I'm like that guy now, and that's cool. I'm honored to be that guy, but also it's like, oh, well, you need another hit. And I'm like, I would never, if it didn't mean this, the next thing doesn't mean this, then it's not worth it. And I think that's been a big thing of just focusing on what really matters the most to me.
That's good that you have sort of your head wrapped around that concept and everything. I feel like a lot of people try so hard to just follow up a hit with a bigger hit. You know?
And it's easy to want that because you're like, oh, it's all fleeting. Nobody's gonna give any whatever's after. And that's the thing. It's like, I almost don't care. Like, if it's not doesn't mean this much the next thing. If it's some fake thing, then like I'm gonna feel empty and be talking to you about a song that I don't care about. Like, why would I? That will wear on my soul way more than a song selling 1 million copies. So I'd much rather have a song just be heard by 100 people that really means something than 1 million people that means nothing.
That's awesome. I love that. Good for you. Seems like you're in a good space right now, good head space.
Thank you, brother.
I look forward to seeing what comes next.
Same, man.
Thank you so much. Great 2018 Max back here on the balcony of
MYfm.
MYfm.
Go Cubs, baby.
Yeah,
unless it's the Yankees.
And the Knicks.
And the Knicks. Thanks, brother. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.